Good. Coca-Cola. But without further ado, we have an archetto, we have a speaker, he has a beard. So I think it's due time that we welcome on stage our wonderful dragon on stage. Thank you very much. Applause. Che ti serve?
USB-C.
We will find it for you. USB-C. Serve
USB-C.
It's all about the right port. Oh, do you know? Look, I just found out that here we add additional security because last year, Sal, if you remember correctly, not once, but 2 times, you almost died on this stage.
I noticed that, but I was very careful this time.
You know, we iterate our errors and look at us.
Oh, by the way, before our friend Reitano starts, if you have like a talk that you would like to propose, it doesn't need to be at a conference. It could be a meetup. It could be anything. If you want to try to be a speaker or an MC, which is the presenters, or you want to try something about, meetups in general, let us know. We'll organize it together, okay? And now, Dungeons and Developers, all yours. Cheers.
Hi there. I'm really excited because this is my first real talk in public. Also, I'm not very used to speaking English in front of an audience, so I ask you to be kind and forgive my terrible accent and pronunciation. My name is Pierdomenico, but everyone calls me Mino. There are more people that knows me in this room. I work as a front-end developer, but I do a lot of other things too. I love telling stories just as much listening to what people have to say. I'm going to introduce you 4 characters from the world of development, reimagined in the Dungeons & Dragons style. So, put your hands up if does anyone here know what Dungeons & Dragons? Okay. Has anyone never played it? And is there anyone who has no idea of what is it? Fine. For you, and just for you, Dungeons & Dragons is a role-playing game that combines storytelling, strategy, and improvisation. Dungeons & Dragons fosters creativity, teamwork, and problem-solving in a fantasy world, limited by only the imagination. So, let's begin our epic adventure. I'm going to tell you a story set in a world built by the ancient architects. Cities were created using the sacred scrolls of objects. These cities lived in harmony, independent yet connected. Their streets changed and adapted, always guiding travelers, even in darkest hours, with a reliable glow. As we walk through one of these streets, we see a slightly open door, with warm lights and cheerful voices coming from inside. Inside, adventurers of all kinds are drinking, laughing, and chatting. A classic tavern scene. We enter, and right in front of us on a small stage, a charismatic elf is telling a story. He speaks with passion, describing the legendary first war of the product. Speaking with an energetic voice, he grabs the audience's attention. Let's discover our first character. The front-end developer, the Bard, travels through the world's taverns under the name of Gridolf Brightscroll. He is the minstrel of the user experience. His mission? To make the quality assurance team cry, but tears of joy. He constantly battles with designers and created CSS animations that deserve a standing ovation. He fights to prove the world that he's not a simple graphic designer, but a true developer. So, let's see that he never embarks on a quest without CSS Grid's sword. This enchanted blade slices through chaotic layout with ease. It can arrange any layout instantly, even seconds before the final production deploy. Shield of responsiveness, forged in the fires of adaptability, protects UI from any screen size issue, whether on an ultra-wide monitor or your grandma old smartphone. Lute of SVG runes, an instrument of pure digital magic. The sound generates vector graphics that replace outdated PNG files and making them dance fluidly in the UI. He also has magic powers, like Pixel Perfect Shine. This radiant spell illuminates misaligned elements, allowing for quick corrections and preventing attacks from designers and clients. Debugging Song, a mystical tune, echoes through the console, making hidden bugs appear from the depths of the Shadow Dome. Call of the Third Dimension summons a 3D opal made using 3JS, mesmerizing users that, without even realizing it, clicks on subscribe to newsletter. So, back to our tavern. Suddenly, a loud noise interrupts the conversations. A grumpy dwarf enters, sits heavily at the table, and places his battle-worn axe beside him. He asks for beer and food. Now, let's take a look to our second character, the warrior DevOps. He is known in the wastelands as Ragnar Ironhost, the colossus of disrupting automation, a developer determined to control the chaos of platforms. He believes everything must be containerized. He deploys without fear, adds monitoring everywhere, and dreams to defeat Friday evening deployment forever. No quest is too great when is armed with Scalability Axe. This mighty axe cleaves through bottlenecks, reduces provisioning times from hours to seconds, together with Battle Cry. Logging Hammer, a tool of great power and occasional frustration, forces every system to produce logs that hopefully make sense. Terraform Robe, his fabric is woven with pure optical fiber. With a single command, he controls cloud infrastructures, but wearing it requires sacrificing part of the team's budget for events and conferences. Not even the quality assurance team is safe from deployment explosion. A sudden chaotic release shakes the battlefield, deploying multiple times without warning, causing panic among clients. Rage production incident. When disaster strikes, he enters in a furious berserker mode, fixing everything while cursing legacy code. Extreme refactoring storm. Spins his axe wildly, destroying infrastructures and rebuilding them from scratch, whether the team was ready or not. Now, at a table near us, we notice a middle-aged man. In a dark corner, a sign at the scene. He returns to reading his book and smoking his pipe. The smoke is whirling in the air. Let's find out who the third character of our adventure is. The wizard, backend developer, the one who gained great fame in the academies of magic, Severus Elgorion, the archmage of invisible architecture. A master of system architecture, he used powerful design patterns. He fights latency with arcane techniques while trying to convince the world that real power is in the invisible. and in unit tests, obviously. Forged in the depths of production hell, his weapons include business logic's tome, an ancient manuscript containing the sacred laws of processes and workflows. Modifying it without unit tests may trigger a curse. A restful invocation sphere, a mystical orb capable of summoning solid, scalable APIs. However, each use requires at least 3 hours of debugging as a sacrifice. Redis Cursed Dagger, a swift and deadly blade that speeds up responses using cache, but sometimes forgets to update, causing chaos and outdated values. Ancient spells whispered in forgotten Jira tickets. Magic Firewall Shield, a protective barrier that blocks suspicious requests but sometimes lock out teammates asking for two-factor authentication. Supreme Authentication Seal, a powerful enchantment that secures access using OAuth and JWT, creating security barriers that only he understands. Luminescent Logs, this arcane spell illuminates system mystery with extremely detailed logs. Sometimes it seems he is recording every your movement in the office. Now, let's back to the tavern another time. I think this is the last time we get back to our tavern. Nearby, a group of gnomes is discussing complex theological matters while eating a vegan soup. Among them sits our next character, the cleric Scrum Master, respected among the faithful, Chrono Task Weaver, the guardian of the agile flow. A relentless optimist. He turns every conversation into a retrospective and fights against chaotic task boards. He leads the team toward sprint nirvana and battles the dark forces of waterfall methodology. These powerful artifacts aid him in every sprint. Stand-up stuff and mystical stuff that emits a bit more clarity, keeping meetings within 15 minutes. Burnout Blocker Shield, a protective barrier against excessive workloads and last-minute requests, not very effective against the product owner. Enchanted Board Amulet. This amulet keeps the project board updated, but beware. The accidental work window refresh and everything may vanish into the void. His spells keep the workflow smooth most of the time. Remove impediments, a powerful incantation that clears obstacles slowing down the team until the next meeting. Summon Pair Programming Spirit, calls forth an ethereal entity appears to help teammate with coding and code reviews. Agile Manifesto Prayer, a sacred chant that inspires the team by singing working software over documentation, not effective against project managers. So, a strange feeling spreads through the tavern. Despite the happy mood, an invisible tension lingers. Something dark is approaching, hidden in the shadows, ready to reveal itself. Is the dreaded Demogorgon, an ancient evil. He takes many forms, like stakeholder, client, or project manager. His goal is to overwhelm developers with unclear requirements, impossible deadlines, and unrealistic expectations. But who will have the courage to resist his power? The team sharpens their IDE like a sword, packages dependencies like shimmering armor, and prepares for the dawn of a new epic adventure. The journey that will take them beyond every bug, against every deadline, and toward the glory of a better software. So, let's get serious for a moment. Our epic story is finished. And let's reflect on the topic. Role-playing games offer a range of benefits that extend far beyond mere entertainment. Role-playing games enhance psychological well-being by fostering empathy, managing emotions, and processing trauma. There are a lot of papers and studies about this topic. Role-playing games promote personal growth, socialization, and creativity, helping to overcome daily challenges in an innovative way. And obviously, can be used to improve your skill in a workplace. The Italian Justice Minister not according with that. He demonized role-playing games as a cause of suicide among young people in his reply to the chamber on January 22. But let's close this unfortunate chapter and return to the real magic of role-playing. At the first glance, Dungeons & Dragons seems like a game of epic battles and treasure hunts. But beyond the dice rolls, it offers a valuable toolset for professional growth. In Dungeons & Dragons, teamwork is key. Whether you're convincing your party to take a risk or haggling with a merchant, how you communicate makes all the difference. Just like explaining a battle plan before fighting a dragon, pitching an idea needs confidence and clarity. Ignoring the dungeon master's clues can lead to disaster, just like missing key details in a meeting. You wouldn't talk to a noble the same way as a goblin king. Adjusting your message is key. Imagine how these skills could translate to leading a team meeting, pitching a new idea, or resolving workplace misunderstandings. Dungeons & Dragons is full of choices. There is not a single right answer. Players face all sorts of challenges, like figuring out mysterious clues or tricking a rival. Thinking outside the box is the key to success. When your plan to defeat guards fails, and probably it will, you learn to think fast and adjust, just like at work. When your first plan fails, and most likely it will, Dungeons & Dragons teaches you to adapt and pivot, a skill highly valued in dynamic work environments. Every decision in Dungeons & Dragons has consequences, helping you get better at weighing options and making the right choice under pressure, like me in this moment. So, if you ever convince the dragon to become your ally instead of your enemy, you know how valuable creative thinking can be. Dungeons & Dragons requires players to manage their resources, like spell slots and gold, and plan their actions. These skills are directly transferable to the workplace. Deciding whether to use your last healing potion now or save it for later mirrors how you allocate times and resources at work. Keeping track of quests, maps, and NPCs teaches you how to stay organized and on top of multiple tasks. Scheduling regular game sessions with a busy group of people is a great practice for managing complex schedules. There are many ways that you can use for introduce role-playing culture in your team. Character sheets can help to understand your team's strengths and skills, customize them, and use them to build stronger connections. Role-playing means stepping into someone else's shoes. Try switching roles with a colleague you might learn more about their daily challenges. Mastering the skills can make you more efficient and reliable at work. For the concept of the idea of dungeons and developers, I've get inspired from this blog post titled How Dungeons and Dragons Can Make Me Better at My Job by Tom Watkin. I recommend this blog to anyone who is not familiar to RPG world. It's a great resource to understand the reason why I've started this project. Now, you can ask, and what these have to do with open source? Together with a small group of crazy people, basically like a party, we started writing a role-playing manual set in the world of software development. Our goal is to help teams focus on collaboration dynamics following the first rule of role-playing games: have fun. The manual is open source, so you are welcome to join. We want this project to be community-driven, allowing anyone who wants to contribute to do so. Only through this, we believe, we can create something truly epic. The manual is a work in progress. We are waiting for stars and pull requests, hopefully. And this, you can find the link to the repository. Just tick tock, tick tock. So we don't just want to write a manual, we want to bring it to life. We aim to use the manual for team building events, training, and fun activities that foster collaboration and problem solving in a creative way. Because work shouldn't always feel like work, we want to host events where devs, designers, and tech enthusiasts can meet, play, and explore the power of storytelling in tech teams. We want to inspire the next generation by using role-playing games to make coding more fun and accessible, sparking curiosity and easing the learning process for newcomers to software development. So, just one last disclaimer. These slides were created purely for fun and irony. So, no one should feel offended. So, no project managers, no product owners. So, thanks. Here you can find the slides if you're interested in.
Great talk, great argument.
Thanks, thanks.
As a D&D player, I really like it.
I know.
So, question?
Wonderful. That was
I think that it's full of stakeholders.
yeah,
Be careful.
full of demogorgons.
Yeah. So, I'm going to give you the trophy. And another round of applause.